Hey, what's happening everybody, and welcome back to the channel. And in today's video we're going to cover how you can start developing your own ArcGIS Online notebooks with no coding, no scripting, no development experience needed with the help of ChatGPT. Now, an important caveat before we get into this video: ChatGPT is not going to automatically make you something that you're not, okay? So if you're a typical GIS consultant like me, I have a basic level of knowledge when it comes to JavaScript and Python, but I am not an expert. I am not an ArcGIS developer. I'm not a computer programmer. And ChatGPT, as great a tool it is, I cannot claim to be a developer, right? I use it as a tool in my day-to-day consultancy gigs. But just to note that ChatGPT, right, I'm not saying that it's going to replace developers or replace computer programmers, but certainly in our day-to-day jobs, in our day-to-day GIS consultancy projects, it is a tool we can make use of to solve specific problems on GIS projects. So while it might not make you a developer overnight, just because you fed in a few prompts into ChatGPT, you can't automatically claim to be a developer now. It is a very useful tool if used right, and it can help us solve these very real, very practical problems that we come across when we're engaging in GIS projects. So we're going to take it from the point of view that it's not going to be very hard for me because I don't know a lot about JavaScript or Python. But let's imagine I know nothing, okay? And let's dive in to the practical example that we're going to give today. So the objective of this video, if we want to put something on it, is to back up a feature layer and export it as an Excel sheet, share it with a share group within ArcGIS Online. And that's actually a very common example, that we need to back up data on a periodic basis. We might have to export it to a different format, and also we might have to enable sharing on the output of whatever we put in. Now, of course, right, you see in my screen here, I have a feature layer. It's called Waterford City Historic Buildings. I have my description, and I have an option here that I can say export data, export to Excel, and I can come in every day and say, Grant, I'm going to export this data, on a periodic basis. Every day at 5 p.m. I'm going to come in, I'm going to export this data. However, it would be really handy for me to have a notebook scheduled that just exports this feature layer as an Excel sheet and then puts it in a share group with people. So if we have a look here, this is a point feature layer. If I go into my data tab here, I can see there's 858 features. That's fine. But I have, right, each one of these rows in my attribute table corresponds to a point in my map, in my feature layer. And I have columns like latitude and longitude and descriptions and everything like that. It's just the composition is fairly detailed, the composition field, but I have like a bunch of columns here that I want to go in and to be able to export. So first things first is I'm gonna just make a note of what my ID is. I can come down here as well to my URL and copy it if need be. But let's open up ChatGPT. Let's start a new chat. So fresh, right? If you're coming from this with no ChatGPT experience, no coding experience, you have a little bit of ArcGIS Online experience, I hope, if you're watching this video, if you are interested in this video. So let's go ahead and start a chat with ChatGPT. Now, I'm on the paid version, right? So it gives me access to ChatGPT 4 because I use ChatGPT quite a lot for automated processes. But just to note that I am on ChatGPT version 4. Right, if I want to be polite, I can say, hi, ChatGPT. I have a feature layer in ArcGIS Online that I'd like to automatically export as an Excel sheet. And share to a group. can you write me the notebook I need? Right, and it is just a fairly simple prompt just to get started because, you know, inevitably with ChatGPT, we're going to have to kind of refine our process. But for now, look, you know, it's come back and said, sure, you can use the ArcGIS API for Python to automate the process of exporting a feature layer to an Excel sheet and share it with a group in ArcGIS Online. Below is a Python code snippet that should get you started. This notebook would use the ArcGIS library, so make sure it's installed in your Jupyter environment. If it's not, install it by running pip install ArcGIS in a separate notebook cell. Don't know what that means, right? If I'm coming from this, no coding experience, no development, what's a Jupyter notebook, right? Here's a basic outline of what we'll need to do. We'll need to authenticate with your ArcGIS Online account. Find the feature layer you want to export. Export the feature layer to Excel. Find the group you want to share it with and share the Excel file with that group. So it's given me a code here, and down the bottom of it then it said replace your username, your password, your feature layer, and your group title with your ArcGIS username, password, feature layer title, group title respectively. Let me know if you run into that. And it's even said cheers. It's very polite, is ChatGPT. So let's just have a look at this script, and you know, look, I mean, it's a video that's going out on YouTube, so I don't really want to, you know, can you ask the script to ask me for my username and password each time? Caveat, this is going to be shared as a YouTube video, and I don't fancy sharing my username, password on the screen for everybody to see. Right? So, no offense, but I just don't want to share my username and password with you. Right? And ChatGPT has come back and said, hey, absolutely, it's good practice, you know? So it's rewriting the script for me now. Hopefully what I can do is perfect. It's saying input. I presume it's going to ask me, enter your username, enter your password. Hopefully my password's covered up, so I don't need to gray it out after this video. But it's going to go ahead and write the script. Perfect. While that is happening, I am painfully aware that I haven't created a share group for this to sit in. So let's have a look at my groups. And I have no groups yet. Let's call this group Daily Data Updates. And I'm just going to take a note of that name. If it's asking me for a name, I'm just going to hit save. So I just needed to create a quick share group. That was a little rabbit hole. So daily data updates, and I have my group ID, which I presume that's what it's going to ask me for. Yeah, group ID. Perfect. Okay, so let's go ahead and copy that in. You know, and look, I mean, I had to ask it just because for the video's sake, I didn't want to share my username and password publicly, right? Just to ask me to prompt for the username and the password each time. What I can do then is, this is my notebook tab. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to delete whatever's in there first and Control V. Move my big ginger pasty head out of the way. And you can see here that it's giving me a thing. Now, I can see here that it has various steps in it. So it has step 1, authenticate. Step 2, locate the feature layer. If we go back to ChatGPT, if we go back to the first one, right, so it said, okay, I need to replace my username and password. Don't need to do that now because I've asked it to prompt me. But I need my feature layer title and my group title. Okay, so if I go back into the script, let's see what it's asking for here. Okay, so it's actually going to prompt me the whole way through. So if I click run on this now, so it's going to prompt me for my username, hopefully. Going to prompt me for my password. And going to prompt me, okay, please enter your ArcGIS username. My username is my email address if you do want to get in contact with me. After this, please enter my ArcGIS online password. And look at that, it's hidden it and everything. Although I can't remember if I typed that in correctly, so I'm just going to go back because I'm dumb. Press enter. Now I'm ready to start. Okay. Please enter the title of the feature layer you want to export. This is it here. Please enter a title. Just call it Daily Export 1. Oh no, we encountered our first error. Perfect, right? So when you encounter an error in notebooks and you're using ChatGPT, copy the error and put it back on ChatGPT. So I just copy and pasted it. ChatGPT has come back and said, apologies for the oversight. The export method doesn't directly support exporting to Excel format. You'll need to first export the feature layer to a file geodatabase and then convert it to Excel using pandas or some other method. Okay, cool, fair enough. Here's how you can modify the code. And again, it's writing that code for me, right? So it's very important. This is not what, like other people are going to show you is like, hey, what happens if the thing actually falls over, right? Like, what if the thing has an error? How do you troubleshoot it? This is how you troubleshoot it, yeah? Now, I'm not entirely convinced that we need to export this as a file geodatabase, So in the meantime, while that's, writing away, I am going to give it more prompts, okay? So maybe I don't need an Excel sheet. Fine, if it doesn't support it, that's fine. But what I could do is export to, I'm going to ask it, I plan on scheduling this every day. Could I write the feature layer name or the feature layer ID into the actual script? Also, can I export to CSV directly instead? And let's see what it comes back with, because presumably like a CSV and Excel sheet, there's not much difference, right? Okay, so here's what it's saying. If you're automating the script to run, hard coding the feature layer ID and exporting directly to CSV makes sense. Perfect. Here's how you can modify the script. Hard code the feature layer ID, export directly using the CSV. So it's just automatically rewritten the script for me here, fairly quick. And again, I'm just going on the prompts that it's given me, right? And it's good that it's returning errors, because if it worked perfectly, there'd be no need for a video on how to do these prompts, right? Perfect. Okay, so let's go copy code. Let's go back into notebooks. Let's go back up here, Control A, delete, Control V, and that is how I do my coding. And feature layer ID, I can see here, so it's asking me just to paste the feature layer ID, and that's going to be this part here, ending in A55. Let's go back in here and just paste it between the two quotation marks. Perfect. Let's hit run now and see where we go. Enter your username and password. press enter, password, press enter. It has the feature layer. We're going to have to do this as well, because if it's asking me this many prompts, it's obviously better if we hard code it into the script. But I'm just going to call this export 1, and let's see where we end up. If it returns another error, the same thing again. We go Control A, Control C, copy and paste the error message directly into ChatGPT. I don't need to preface it with anything. Please enter the title of the group, which is called Daily Data Updates. Just going to go in there, copy that, press enter. And it says sharing CSV file with group. Done. Is it? Is it done? You reckon? If I refresh my group? And there we go. Right, so export 1. Done. Let's click on it. So it has the exact same description as the feature layer. Pretty cool. If I move my pasty ginger head, click download. Let's see what this looks like. And it has everything in it. What? Fantastic. Look at that. There you go. All 858 records, I believe. Yeah, 59 including the header. Hey, look at that. Done. No coding needed. Wow, look at that. That was actually quicker. I was expecting more error messages. Okay, cool. So let's go back to ChatGPT now and ask it for another prompt. Can I also hard code, because that's the term that it used, hard code the group name and the name for the exported CSV file into the script? Okay, so now it's going to come back and say, yeah, of course you can hardwire everything into it, right? So we've replaced the feature layer, so it's not prompting me to name the feature layer each time. Group name, right? Now, having said that, there's cause for the other one as well. That if you do want to, while it can't be automated if it's asking you for prompts every time, what it can do is, you know, if we're running scripts at a periodic basis and we need to feed it in one at a time, you know, it's good for that. If you need, you know, kind of your notebook to prompt the end user, you can do it that way. But for here, perfect. It's hard coded everything in. So if I go back to untitled notebook now, Control A, delete, Control V, and we go in and we say, okay, so my feature layer ID is going to be this one. Go back in, and you know, it said hard-coded values. So you can see here that there's logic behind what ChatGPT is giving me. So that it's like, you know, like it's easy if you don't have any coding experience. Okay, it's just asking me for my group name now, you know. And you know, just for the sake of this, I know because like I have a very simple group name. Just for this example, you guys might not have. Just make sure that the values match, that we're upholding our part, right, of this interaction, that we make sure all the values are correct. And we say export 1. Perfect. So now it's going to ask me for my username, password. That's fine. Exporting to CSV, and the hard-coded values are done. Now, if I want to run this again, just highlight it so it's in green here, this block. Enter my username and password. And you'll notice as well, like, I'm not even showing you guys the rest of the interface in notebooks, right? Like, what's a kernel? What's a cell? Right? I'm not doing any of that. That we can go in and we can say, right, look, just copy, paste, enter your values, go. okay? And then we can share it, we can save it, whatever we want to do. You can see here now that that's done. If I go back into daily updates, refresh this, you can see that it's, okay, so it's giving me 2 now, right? So it's giving me export 1, export 1. Okay, so we're going to need to prompt it now to say, if I need backups over time, I can maintain them, or I can prompt ChatGPT again saying, no, look, I need 1 deleted, so delete the old one, bring in the new one, or timestamp it. So I want to keep each file exported, or each exported file, and I want to timestamp the title. So you can see here straight away it's going to rejig the code again, so we need to put in our feature layer ID or group name. And then we're going to say this is the start time, and it's just done it automatically, right? And now all we have to do is replace values. Once it's done finishing writing the script, we just need to copy and paste it in, replace our values, and go again. And once that's done, then it is a matter of just copying the code, going back into my untitled notebook, Control A, Control V, filling out my prompts yet again, and then coming up with a process. And that is all I really wanted to show you today, was that, we can go in, no coding experience required. If we wanted to go in, I could press Control Z on this. Obviously, I want to save it, give it a name, right? I can say daily data download, give it a tag, give it a summary, and you can save your notebook. What's also worth noting as well, it is an iterative process where you're going in, you run a script, okay, cool, come back and report the errors or report what you need it to do next. So test it out, ChatGPT, the prompts, copy and paste them into the actual notebook and go from there, right? We haven't even covered like code snippets or anything like that, but an important thing just to leave you with are these tasks. So if I have a script, you might not have to prompt your scripts to ask for your username and password each and every time, okay? I just did it for this video. But what you can do is go into tasks. So the only thing we're going to cover here related to the actual interface of notebooks is go into tasks, go to create task, and from here you can say daily backup, right? You can give it a parameter, give it a value. You just hit next, don't worry about that, but say beginning on, and I want to do it every day, ending on, never. Select a time for it, whatever it is, and you can check out the Esri help documentation on this. You don't need a video for it, but if you did want to start scheduling it, you just say, yeah, cool, create, right? And now that's active. So every day I come in, I should start to see these build up, and then if I do my timestamps, right, if I implement that, if I go from there, and it's a built upon process. We did it for 1 feature layer. What if you need it done for 5? It is as simple as going into ChatGPT and saying, okay, I now need to do this for 3 more feature layers. And once ChatGPT has the history of the chat, we can come in and we can extend it here, and then it's just writing out code way faster than a human would, and we're there. We just need to copy and paste it. Any errors that we get, we feed it back into ChatGPT, and ChatGPT helps us to arrive at a solution. Again, this isn't going to make me a developer. I am not a developer, but I do use this quite a lot to solve practical problems as they come up in my GIS projects. So hopefully you found that useful. If you did find this video helpful, hey, give us another subscribe, give us another like on YouTube, give us another like on LinkedIn, wherever you found this video. And if you do want to reach out to me, I'm always open to chat about ArcGIS and anything I can do to help you. So you can reach out to me at Adam, ADAM, at gis-express.com. And hopefully this video has helped you. And do let me know. Feel free, reach out. Hopefully it's helped in some conversations and some projects you might have going on in ArcGIS. All the best. Until the next time, I'll chat to you guys soon.